Wonderful good day, ladies and gentlemen. Benko Resource Investment Conference. It's my honor and pleasure. We had it already several times. Gianni Kovacevic, the most well-known expert about copper, I would say, here in the Western Hemisphere. Nearly, no, I'm joking around, but he's really a perfect expert about copper. And he wrote a sensational book, Why My Electrician Drives a Porsche. And of course, we want to talk about copper as the red metal was really hammered down. Gianni, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for spending a couple minutes at the show here.
Yes, put it a bit up, please. Copper. I mean, hammered down below $2 a pound. What's your view on it? What was one of the reasons, or let's say, what are the reasons why it went down? And do you see a bit light of the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, well, we have an all-asset class sell-off right now. We also have an extremely strong, unprecedented strength in the US dollar. So anything that's priced in US dollars, the price has fallen.
Yeah.
And at the same time, look what oil has done. And if you look at the correlation of all the metals complex, they're tightly correlated to oil. Oil has collapsed, and a lot of these big commodity indexes were falling out of bed, and the other things just fall in sympathy. As they say, or as Dennis Gartman would say, when they raid the house of ill repute, they arrest everyone, including the piano player.
Oh, shit.
But so now we get to normalization. And when you look at the changing energy mix, understanding the winners and the losers, I mean, everyone should be well aware that when you decarbonize the energy mix, it means electricity. And so we are going to see, continued robust demand for copper, all at the same time that you have just a lack of investment. And as we work out the last bit of supply coming online, 2016, 2017, that's really the moment that I think you're going to see a decoupling between the price of oil and copper specifically.
And I think one of the reasons also for the future rising demand is this beautiful car behind us, right? I think mobility through electricity consumes a lot more copper than the normal car driving with diesel or gas, right?
Absolutely. And so my book is launching on February 9th across America, and to accomplish the book tour, I'm doing a very unique Tesla, a North America realistic environmentalist Tesla tour. And people say, well, what does a Tesla have to do with my book titled My Electrician Drives a Porsche? Well, the doctor, the main character of the book, is enlightened and he buys a Tesla in the end of the book, so to keep the suspense. but you're right, there is changes. And when you look at the oil market, you have three things. You've got innovation. So the average machine, planes and cars use 25-30% less fuel than they did 12-13 years ago. Fuel efficiency has been mandated in America to climb to 54 miles a gallon by 2025. So we're going to use less oil in that atmosphere. We also have innovation. So we have real adoption because these electric cars are technology, they increase. And we're at the point now where meaningful adoption is going to take place, not just in light cars, but in buses and city movers and garbage trucks and cement trucks and these kind of things in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And so this will, of course, be electrification. We have to rewire basically, and not to be facetious or anything like that, but we have to rewire basically most of the structures in the world to be able to accommodate this.
No, definitely. Can you give our viewers an idea? I mean, this Tesla here, it's fully electrified. What is the difference, let's say, per kilogram compared to the same car but with a gas motor? Can you give a little bit of a hint of that, an average or whatever?
Great question. The average automobile has about 50 pounds of copper, so 24 kilograms. These electric cars are coming in around 200 pounds of copper per car, so just under 100 kilograms, 4 times more. Let's take it one step further. When you talk about green energy, the wind and solar, so just rule of thumb, it takes 4 to 6 times more copper per megawatt of utility when you have greener and cleaner energy. Why is this? A wind turbine, the average ones that you see all over Germany and popping up all over the world, the generator on the top of it, on the 1.8 megawatt, 1,900 pounds of copper. The step-up transformer on the bottom, 2,000 pounds of copper.
Wow.
Then you duplicate that over the 200 or 300 wind turbines in the field. Solar, same situation. So as a rule of thumb, the greener and cleaner that you create and utilize energy, it takes around 4 or 5 times more copper per megawatt.
Wow, crazy. How do you rate the situation in China now? I mean, everybody is talking about China, saying, it's going into recession and the growth stopped nearly, 6 to 7% growth, even if it be 4 or 5%. I think that's still enough growth to use a lot of copper, right?
That's a great question. And it all revolves around the economy. People are getting confused with the currency in the stock market with the economy. They're two different things. And so most Chinese, we relate to the economy, and it's changing. Now, if you look back at China over the past 20, 25 years, have they not done everything they really said they're going to do? You know, they told you they're going to build a lot of infrastructure, they're going to move hundreds of millions of people into an urban economy and make them consumers, which is what they're doing. It's not happening maybe as gracefully as it could have, and they're having teething pains.
Yes.
You have a control economy meeting a market economy, and it's finding its way. But the economy itself, you know, that what I'm talking about, it's all about the millennials. There are 415 million millennials in China, 75 million in America, and more importantly, over 100 million of these millennials have already graduated university. Higher expectations. And what's the one thing, the number one thing that they need that cannot be controlled, that needs to be implemented and let's say, still to be installed? Energy. The umbilical cord of human progress, Jochen, is energy. And so the largest electrical generation capacity increase in the world is taking place in China. They will install 450 gigawatts of power in the next 5 or 6 years. The biggest winner there is going to be green energy, 175 gigawatts of wind and solar, 125 gigawatts of new-fired coal, so they can get people off of coal-fired heat in the cities and bring back the power on million-volt lines.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, you have nuclear and gas where they have it. So this is something that is going to duplicate. So let me give you some numbers. China has a generation capacity for electricity, 1,360 gigawatts. America, 1,100 gigawatts. They're going to build almost about 40% of America's capacity in 5 or 6 years. You know, to give you context, Quebec Hydro, which is 61 generators, is 36 gigawatts. BC Hydro, 12 gigawatts. I mean, this is huge power.
Yeah.
They need, in the next 5 or 6 years, around 60 million tons of copper to just basically par for the course.
60 million tons. Jesus.
And their appetite to make this electrical infrastructure take place.
Wow.
Right? So we have a 23 million ton market globally for copper, and China's just over 50% of that.
So that's a 3-year production, right?
So
World's
it's
production.
They use half the world's copper. This will continue, and then eventually it probably abates, but then you have to electrify Europe and America to create all this sort of electrical economy, this green economy.
Yeah.
I am tremendously bullish on the future of copper, and I will even say now, because as we enter 2016, on the short medium term, you know, the price is low. 30% of the producers don't make money, so I'm very bullish.
Yeah. Okay. What can you imagine? I mean, we are now flat $2 per pound. What's your guess? Let's say for 2016, and what can you imagine 17, 18?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, so I reverse engineer the question. First of all, do we need more copper in the years forward, 2017, 18, 19, higher amplitude? The answer is yes. Now, the only way a producer can make that, the big producers, BHP, the world's largest integrated miner, will tell you they need about $3.50 as an inducement price to actually do the economics to build the projects. Don't forget, it's not the will, Jochen, it's the money. You can't finance this stuff. So if you answer yes and yes to those questions, then we know that the market has to be, let's say, better than $3.50. Otherwise, nothing gets built. So if you need more copper, and I think we do, and the people that are going to finance it and build it need a certain price, it has to overshoot that number. So in my opinion, as we go into 2017, 18, 19, you know, eventually you should have something that makes those what are now uneconomic deposits, they have to become economic. So whatever that magic number is, all things being equal, what's the US dollar doing at the time and such. So
it has to go up.
Never say has, you know, there's politics, US dollar, there's other factors, but if you need more copper to electrify the global economy.
No, what I mean is the demand is there, the demand is growing, and so from that sense the supply is actually shrinking because we get less and less projects online. We are depleting. Also, we are producing, so we are using the copper
and they're high-grading mines, and deposits are being sterilized, and you have to do capex. And if you look at a big project, if you're mining 30 million tons a year in 400-ton trucks or 500-ton trucks, and grade now goes down by 25%. My goodness, you got to mine another 10 million tons to have the same metal yield.
That's a lot.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult business, mining. Yeah. This whole thing that, you know, you take all these different disciplines, and so it will be rewarded. Unfortunately, really high highs, really low lows. But if you look at the valuations and the opportunity and the torque you have now in this coil that's been compressed, It's very interesting, captivating, and I think hopefully my book can, first of all, enlighten people. Why is copper important to the global economy and to this changing energy mix as we decarbonize the global energy mix?
No, that's the right objective. Teach the people that they know what is important in the world, how the world is running. Without copper, nothing will work, that's for sure. And thanks for your work, thanks for your book also. And I already read it, of course, because you did it also in German. It was translated. I liked it a lot.
Thank you. Yeah,
it was great.
Very well there, yeah.
And keep fingers crossed. And I wish you all the best with your book also. As you just told me, you are listed everywhere and it's really worldwide now available. Yeah. And keep the good work going, Gianni. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was Gianni Kovacevic, well-known international copper expert, writer and author. And you heard it. He has not a crystal ball, as we all do not have, but definitely the demand is there for copper. The supply is shrinking, and I'm here standing up behind a Tesla, and it's amazing because a normal car has like 50 pounds of copper. This Tesla has approximately 200 pounds of copper, and I think it's quite obvious and quite clear. The more electrifying we are the world, the more copper we have to use. Thanks and bye-bye from Vancouver.